Welcome everyone, and welcome to TechTalk Friday. Hey, I'm in Penang. It's supposed to be sunny, but it's not so sunny. But it's a wonderful place. I'm at the SHIP campus. It's an amazing campus, co-working space, whole bunch of things here in Batu Kawan area in Penang. So having fun, meeting up some amazing people in Penang. And you know, one of the most interesting things, I'm here in Penang because yesterday Penang launched this IC Design Hub. Integrated Circuit Hub. So Penang actually announced the establishment of the Penang Chip Design Academy. And this initiative is really to bolster its integrated circuit or IC design. And so the academy is a key component of part of the Penang Science, Technology, Engineering, and Mathematics or STEM Talent Blueprint, which they are launching in June. And I got a privilege yesterday with Dato' Lu from Invest Penang at the launch. And we had a great launch, and then there was an amazing HR tech session with CTO. And one of the most prominent guys there is a guy called Tarif Jafari. And Tarif actually built an amazing product called Happily, which is amazing, mind-blowing. And maybe just for those of you in the tech circle, very little is understood about HR tech. And before we get to James Ross and Jobstreet, which is sort of a HR tech, maybe Tarif was sharing a bit about Happily. Let me show a short clip on what Happily is all about, and then we'll get on to Tech Talk. So here's Happily. Technical problems, but anyway, I'll get time. I'll show you that clip in a bit on Happily. A couple of quick news before we get to our main attraction of today is the dialogue with James Ross, the CTO of Jobstreet in Australia. So a lot of stuff happening in the tech space. Microsoft releases Phi Silica, right? So that's its new Phi 3 models, Phi Silica. It's a small language model optimized for neural processing units. Copilot species, Phi Silica 3, 3.3 billion parameters. It offers super fast local inferencing with low power consumptions. It's a significant step in integrating advanced AI directly into Windows devices. So something interesting that's happening at Microsoft. Obviously, lots of chaos, tension at OpenAI as always. About Ilya's departure last week at our Tech Talk from OpenAI. And there's a couple other folks, 3 other key personnel also recently resigned. So not sure what's happening in OpenAI, but again, 4.0, GPT 4.0, 4.0 actually, not 4.0, 4.0, the Omni version has really raised the bar. You see Google's a whole bunch of things happening. Suno AI, right? It's actually a music generation platform. We recently raised about 125 million to continue building a future where everyone and anyone can create music. So that's going to be interesting. That the whole music and AI. Obviously, Nvidia. We talked about Nvidia last week at the stock price. But guess what? They just reported their first quarter sort of 14 billion profit. And this is driven by a 262% jump in sales, up to 26 billion just in the quarter, with 19.4 billion coming from AI chips, right? And the forecast is 28 billion next quarter. So amazing stuff happening, continuing to happen at Nvidia. And everyone's countries, they're all partnering Nvidia to shift $1 billion traditional data centers into accelerated computing, and build this new type of data center, AI factories, right? And to drive artificial intelligence. Facebook, Meta, Zuckerberg, on and off in the news, but he's created an AI advisory council, which includes Stripe CEO Patrick Collins, GitHub CEO or former GitHub CEO Nat Friedman, Shopify CEO Toby, ex-Microsoft executive Charlie Songhurst, and it's Meta, has partly, I think, that the formation of this new advisory council came right after Zuckerberg announced plans to spend about 35 billion on AI-focused products. So this is, I think the previous announcement was 30 billion, now it's 35 billion. And he believes that Meta has a potential to become the leading AI company in the world. I think everyone believes that, right? So everywhere we talk to anyone, having a chat yesterday with Google. Same thing, we are AI first company and whole bunch of things, right? Truecaller, a great app which I've been using on my phone to get rid of spam, has partnered Microsoft. So that's new. And then there is now AI generated political content. So the FCC in the US has proposed that whole bunch of things. Part of the proposals is to design to govern ads and political advisors or political ads require some kind of disclosure. So anyway, more on that in a bit. I think the other big interesting thing is Elon Musk, XAI is working on making Grok into a multimodal sort of process, and this is part of the Grok. So lots of stuff happening. I'm going to give you a quick broad overview, but go check it out. Go on X, go on all these different sites, and you can read more on all the great stuff that's happening. AI is truly transforming the world. And again, we're very thankful to CyberArmor for all the stuff that they're doing in terms of helping us put TechTalk together. And for those of you who don't know, CyberArmor, they have a style-based product called Shepherd. And Shepherd is this revolutionary product that eliminates network attacks. It basically moves hacks down to close to zero, and it's patented, unique, and it's proven. So check out Shepherd. Again, one quick minute. I'm going to just show you a quick little video on Shepherd, and then we'll go right into our session with James Ross. So here's a quick overview of Shepherd. Thank you so much, CyberArmor, for being part of partnering us in TechTalk Friday. Here's Shepherd. Welcome back to Tech Friday, and we've got different folks on the show. I see comments coming in. Good morning from KL, from Hasnain, and good morning here from Penang. Penang is going through some amazing digital transformations and some amazing stuff. I mean, I hear in Malaysia, to me, two places that really impressed me is Penang and Sarawak, and some of the amazing stuff. Last week I was in Singapore speaking to at the Echelon tech event, and then I met the guys from SDEC, which is a Sarawak digital economy folks, and some amazing new insights. I mean, they gave me on some of the stuff that's happening in Sarawak, and being here in Penang blows me, right? I mean, the stuff that the digital Penang guys are doing with Ming and the team, and some of the stuff that Generative AI Academy. I mean, we talk about NVIDIA, PSDC together with Liramix and NVIDIA potentially looking to put together a Generative AI Academy to build talent in Penang. So some amazing stuff happening in Penang. Today we're going to talk to James Ross, CTO of Jobstreet, and we have a great conversation coming up. So I'm going to just dive right into our conversation, and love to hear your comments, love to hear your thoughts on the dialogue with James, and we'll take it from there. So here's James Ross from Seek Asia. James, Seek's actually kind of the brand or the parent company of Jobstreet and JobsDB. So here's James Ross from Seek.
James Ross, the Chief Technology Officer of Seek Asia Pacific. James, really happy to have you here, and obviously you are Australian.
Yes.
I just know bits and pieces about you, so I'd love to learn, who this James Ross is, and so how do you get to where you got to?
Okay, thanks very much. I'm pretty old, so I'll have to condense it. I started as a programmer in the 1980s. The 1990s for me were really about startups. and I was very lucky to be early in the first wave of internet companies. I had my own internet startup in the .com era.
Wow. Okay.
Then in the 2000s, I really got into the agile community and transforming. The industry was going to, software engineering was going through a massive transformation towards agile. And then in the 2010s, I really got excited about Australian companies that were international in their impact. So Aconex is the leading company in the world in construction industry, so I worked there. Envato is a global creative marketplace based out of Australia, and Seek has global aspirations, but it comes from Australian roots.
Yeah, yeah.
So I've moved into technical leadership roles, running software engineering teams for those sorts of companies. So what attracted me to Seek was this big ambition that I'm sure we'll talk about, which was everyone in Australia knows Seek, and everyone in Malaysia knows Jobstreet, and everyone in Hong Kong knows JobsDB, but they don't know that they're all part of the one business. So Seek has been growing through acquisition over the last decade or so, and the big challenge that attracted me to come to Seek 4 years ago was the integration of all those businesses into one, so that we can really scale for the whole APAC region.
And when you talk about, I mean, you obviously are a man of many experiences, and we can talk about some of these different experiences, but Seek primarily, you have 3 different brands. And what you are saying is that when you're talking about unifying, is the technology backend, right? I'm assuming it's the backbone of the. So tell us a bit about that. I mean, how's that going?
Well, it is very, very exciting to be here in KL this week talking about it, because we've completed what is, depending on where you start the clock, 3 to 5 years of effort to bring these businesses together. So let me give you an example. 3 years ago, these were literally operating as 3 separate companies effectively. So separate HR teams, separate finance teams, separate product and engineering teams in all these businesses. So if you worked for Jobstreet and I worked for Seek, I couldn't find you in Slack, I couldn't find you in Workday, because we were on separate systems. So that really operating separately. So over the last 3 to 5 years, we have brought everything together. So we now have one set of collaboration tools. So we share the same Slack. I can share documents with you because we're on one Active Directory, one APAC finance system, one APAC HR system. So we use Workday for finance and HR. We use Salesforce for CRM, so one CRM system across APAC. And the last piece has been my area, which is the customer-facing systems. So literally, 3 months ago, Jobstreet had its own tech stack, totally separate tech stack.
Right.
So did JobsDB, so did Seek.
Yep.
And we brought them all together onto one big one, and we've turned off the old ones. So we are now...
So all 3 systems are running on one big integrated system.
one big integrated system. So we have unified HR, finance, collaboration, and our customer-facing systems, and it's been the most incredible thing I've ever seen any company attempt.
Right.
And we're really, really excited because it's totally changed the game for anyone who uses Jobstreet or JobsDB. It's completely changed the game. So it's all AI behind the scenes now, because Seek was further down that path than Jobstreet or JobsDB. So it's fully cloud, it's fully DevOps. We're releasing software hundreds of times a day, and it's all AI powered behind the background.
Oh, fantastic. And I know, I mean, it sounds like, oh, you just did it and it was like a magical thing and everything came together. I'm sure that there are significant challenges in terms of getting done, because having myself tried to create unifying systems at GE when I was there, it's a nightmare, right? Because everyone says, oh, mine is special, mine is this, we have this customization, and oh, our market is different, you don't understand it. And talk to me about how you did this, because it sounds so incredible.
It is incredible. It is incredible, but I have no silver bullets. It was the hardest thing I've ever been involved in doing. No easy answers, but Seek is very good at discussing internally. We talk all the time about trade-offs. Okay, so one of the fundamental trade-offs for us was, on one side, you want the simplicity of a single platform for the region, because then my team can write the code once and get it to everyone, and just like that.
Absolutely.
On the other side, you want your local expertise. You want to understand the nuances of Malaysia, Thailand, Philippines, Indonesia, Singapore. So for us, that trade-off was about investing in the configurability of the one platform so that it can be localized. So one set of software, multiple configurations. So all of our customer-facing teams, sales, operations, service are all local. So every country, that's all local. We haven't centralized that. So very much local sales and service on a platform configured to suit the local market. So very hard trade-offs, not easy. And that will just continue for us now forever.
And I mean, in terms of driving that change management, I guess lots of dialogues, lots of negotiations, and so on and so forth. Was there something structurally that Seek did that enabled this to happen in a less painful way, I guess?
I don't know about less painful.
Or as painful.
we realized that one of the fundamental realizations, which I can recommend, to others, is to work out if you have the capability to tackle what you're trying to tackle internally. And we have great teams internally, really passionate technology people. All our people are passionate, the HR teams and the finance teams and everyone. But we did not have internally at Seek the program management capability to manage this amount of change in this amount of time. So we effectively divide. Our big platforms in tech are our finance system, HR system, CRM system, our data platform, and our online system, which is our customer-facing system. And all of those, the people who own those systems and are experts in them know how to change them and manage them. But we needed this overarching program management function that we built from scratch. It ended up being, I'm not sure how large, but more than 100 people just in the program management function to manage all the change. Probably 200 people, and that
got it.
A lot of people from outside working collaboratively with people with deep Seek expertise. So we brought in external program management expertise, coupled it with Seek expertise, and managed it via that interface with the what we'd call custodians of those systems. And now we're basically winding back that program function and settling back into the.
So now I think, in terms of scaling to new countries and new territories, no problem, right?
No.
It's going to be quite seamless in terms of the systems, in terms of the backbone.
Yes.
How about the brand? I mean, when you would scale to a new territory, would it be a Jobstreet, DB, or Seek?
That's above my pay grade.
Okay.
That is for the
that'd
marketing
be interesting,
folks.
right?
Yeah. So literally, the system now doesn't care what the brand is.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right. So it's the same system.
It's brand agnostic.
It's just a different domain name, and we put the
territory.
logo on it, but it's literally the same.
So you can
computers.
technically create new brands and
if we wanted to. I think it's more likely we'll converge than
and build one singular brand at some point.
So we'll probably do experiments along those lines, but that's sales, marketing, commercial people. But you will have noticed that the Jobstreet logo now says Jobstreet by Seek.
Yeah, I saw the by Seek.
Right, so we're introducing the idea of Seek just gently.
Yeah, JobsDB also by Seek, right?
JobsDB by Seek.
Yeah.
So you'll see more experiments like that in different geographies to see how people respond.
And one of the things I think you are starting to get in is to start using AI in a significant way in all your products and services, right?
Yes.
And I saw you have a campaign with the animals.
Better matches with
matches with different animals like lions. And talk us through that. I mean, I thought it was a relatively interesting way to position.
Yeah, so fundamentally, people don't really care about the journey we've been through to re-platform our systems. We're not going to.
They just care what can you do for me, right?
That's right.
Yeah.
So people care what we can do for them, and what we can do for them now in Jobstreet and JobsDB markets is find them better jobs because the mechanisms we use are better. So literally, we have hundreds of people in our data science and AI teams, and they have models of the employment landscape, all the skills that people have, all the requirements that hirers have, and the technology to turn your CV and your profile into machine learning vectors and the jobs that people post into machine learning vectors, and then do matching using machine learning to find the best jobs for you. It's literally that. Because your fundamental problem in an employment marketplace is there are millions of jobs and millions of candidates, and no candidate can read the million job ads, and no hirer can assess the million candidates. So it's not a human scale problem. There's so much opportunity and so much talent. How do you actually match them? That's the fundamental problem with an employment marketplace. None of us can scale to the challenge. So it really, and Seek recognized many years ago, probably 8 or more years ago, that these new machine learning techniques were going to be the way this would be solved. So we're not late to this party. We're actually quite early and now bringing those benefits to market here.
And you've defined better, better jobs as better, by
relevant,
strengths,
relevant, strength, level, pace. So the ad campaign. Sorry, I should answer the ad campaign. So people in Malaysia will see this new ad campaign coming out, where basically different people have different desires. What's the ideal job for you might be different to me. So one of the ad campaigns features a giraffe, and the message is find the job that's the right level for you, right? And I think the giraffe ends up being a window cleaner for a tall building, right? Another one is about your strengths. So we played that one today where it's a lion.
We'll play it after this.
There's a lion who's in the wrong job. He's a primary school teacher and he's scaring the children. So it's not the right job for him. And the message there is find the job that's right for your strengths. And then I believe, I haven't seen this one yet, but I believe there's one coming which features a sloth. And the message is find the job that's the right pace. Right pace.
Sounds like something for me.
Yeah, right. Something a little slower. So not in tech, right? Not in tech. It's very fast in tech. So it's really about saying everyone has a different view on what the right job for them is. So find the job that's right for you.
So I'm going to close out with just maybe some pieces of advice if you can impart to, we're running this HR Tech conference, and primarily there are 2 groups of people attending. One is the HR leaders, to understand what the technology stacks that are out there and the possibilities, but also to understand that the space is evolving. HR space is moving from a very soft function into a very technical, similar to marketing, which moved into customer analytics or customer intelligence. HR is moving to employee intelligence, somewhat. The other piece is the technology folks, right? Because you cannot drive technology into the HR function without support from the technology team. Right? So if you were to impart advice, maybe first to the HR community, as they engage on, you did this massive project, right? These guys are the starting point and saying, oh, I have to reinvent HR and I have to move into the technology space, right? What sort of advice would you impart to them?
I would probably go the Simon Sinek way and say start with why. Like technology, no offense to all the technologists, but we often get excited about technology and just want to apply it without, we don't really mind why, we just want to apply it. And HR folks, not that I'm a HR folks, it's very understandable that they would be overwhelmed with the possibilities because all the tech folks are saying, we could do this, we could do this, we could do this, we could do this. So, and they're not lying, it's true. There is an incredible amount of things you can do. So how do you choose, right? Well, start with why. Like, what are you as a HR professional trying to do for your organization, right? Are you trying to expand quickly? Are you trying to align cultures? Are you trying to attract talent? We can help you with attracting the talent.
That's you guys.
But everyone, all these other tech providers will help you with other things. So what's your why? And then the other strong encouragement I would have would be to collaborate, because the tech people don't understand HR. HR people don't understand tech. You have to work together.
Find a middle ground.
So we in our organization, we have people whose job it is to partner with HR. Like, that's their job. They are called a technology engagement partner.
Wow.
There are
I like that.
Right? So people from HR would be familiar with, so for example, as a senior manager in Seek, I have a HR business partner. Okay? That is quite a common paradigm. That's a HR professional.
So now the tech guys need to have a...
tech need to do the other way. So HR people take it for granted that they need to put partners out in the org. Well, just flip that around and expect tech to partner with you, spend time with you in your leadership teams, understand what you're trying to do and why, because you should only trust their advice if they understand what you're trying to do.
Absolutely.
Would be my advice.
I like that. So start with why. We have clear outcome, right? Once you have a clear outcome, it's easy to find kind of the how you get there, right?
Not easy, but becomes
easier,
possible. Becomes
easier.
possible.
Because if you don't have outcomes, everything is good, right? And
Yes.
then it's a mishmash, and then
Correct.
everything becomes a mess. So that's great.
Correct.
And your advice to the tech guys is do that tech BP, right? Business partner. I
My
like that, right?
my strong advice to tech people is to spend more time understanding the business.
Yeah.
And not just the tech.
Perfect. Thank you so much. And so, as we close this out, I'm just, generally, I mean, maybe, generally, I know Jobstreet here is a big market player.
Yes.
What advice would you give to people out there looking for better jobs, and in relation to Jobstreet?
Well, just give it another look, because Jobstreet is 26 years old now.
And there's a new refresh look today, right? If they haven't.
It's not just the look.
Yeah.
Like, you're literally, when you do a job search, it's a completely different system that's doing it than it was 3 months ago. So the only thing to do is give it another look. The mobile app is completely new. Website is completely new. You probably have used Jobstreet in the past, but if you haven't used it recently, give it another look.
Right. I may be looking for a job soon. So James, it's been an absolute pleasure speaking to you. Speaking to James Ross from Jobstreet, from Seek Asia Pacific. Thank you, James.
Thank you.
It's been fantastic listening to James. There's some great nuggets that he shared. But one of the things he talked about was this ad campaign they have, at your own pace. So let me quickly share, pull this out on from YouTube. But let's watch this whole ad campaign that they have in terms of. Oops. Give me a second. I can't seem to get it on. All right, here you go. Here you go.
Find a job that truly matches your pace. The all-new Jobstreet by Seek. Better matches powered by AI.
All right, so that's Jobstreet. But a couple of things I think that James spoke about that be relatively. Oops. So a couple of things I think that James spoke about that might be relatively interesting. One of the things I think that he spoke about was this whole aspect of how do you integrate multiple product systems into a single backend to create this seamless front end experience. And it was not an easy feat. So he talks about how integration can simplify complexity, deliver exceptional value, and it drives a couple of things, right? It's about enhanced decision making, right? And I think that's AI also does, right? AI isn't just about automation; it's about augmentation and integrating AI with your systems. You can start to turn data into actionable insights, right? So think of predictive analytics, where AI can forecast trend and behaviors, enabling you to make proactive decisions rather than reactive ones. And I think this is something that Tarif reinforced to me, and if we get a time at the end, I'll share a little bit about Tarif's model of how enhanced decision making for your employees is possible through his system called Happily. Then there's personalization at scale, right? James talked about creating a seamless front end, and if you look at AI, right, it's similar, right? AI can take this step further by personalizing the user experience from job recommendations to custom content delivery. AI can actually analyze behavior and preference to tailor the experience to each individual. But think about that in the product, in the context of your customers, but also in terms of your employees. And then there's operational efficiencies, right? AI can optimize your operations by automating like routine tasks and processes. And this is not only reduces the margin of error, but also frees up your team to focus on more strategic initiative. Right? Now, I am going to show you a quick video on Happily because there's some noise at the background. But Tarif talks a lot about this whole concept of how you use data to enable better decision making. So here's a quick show on Happily. Okay, so Tarif talked a little bit about Happily, but noise has gone down. But James, I think the other interesting part is this whole customer engagement piece. With chatbots and virtual assistants. But the other piece for CTOs is to create your own relationship managers rest of the community. So I think that's an interesting session. I'm going to just look at some of the comments that are out there. So I see Jason, sorry, you said so good starts with why, and I think that's something that at the tech world, we tend to forget that actually a lot of things start with why. You need to have very clear outcomes before you start any initiatives or any program. So anyway, it's been about 30 minutes. I hope you enjoyed the conversation with Tarif, with James Ross, and also some of the insights that we got from Tarif and his whole take on how we need to integrate AI into a lot of our products and services. I'm looking forward to our Tech Talk next week. We've got a couple of more guests. We've got folks from Google. We've got folks from a couple of local folks in Malaysia who are doing some amazing stuff on technology and ESG. And we also have some amazing guys from cybersecurity. We've got the guy who was part of the significant hacking team that did significant bunch of hacking. So he's going to come on the show and talk a little bit about hacking and how that works. And a whole bunch of other things that are lined up for the next number of weeks. So look forward to the next few Tech Talk Fridays, and every Friday we talk tech. Feel free to ask as many questions as possible. And I see a couple more questions. I want to quickly introduce you to our producer, Stacy. So some of you don't know who's at the back end. Hey, Stacy, wave to everyone and say hi. So Stacy's at the back there. She's also with me here in Penang. And that's at the ship in another place at the ship campus in Penang. So we'll be back next Friday, Tech Talk Friday. Here's us saying goodbye from Tech Talk Friday. We'll look forward to seeing you guys next Friday.